Today I go to Costco to buy 3 worst, the shitty Costco wines. Let's find it out. So this is Costco at Fountain Valley. 이 영상은 2명의 매우 숙련된 와인 전문가의 견해를 담고 있습니다. 입맛이 다를 수 있고 우리 의견에 동의하지 않을 분이 있다는 사실을 저희는 알고 있습니다. 저희 생각에 반대하는 분들도 존중합니다. 멋 같은 와인을 피할 수 있는 방법은 3가지 있습니다. 첫째, 와인을 포장이나 병 모양 예쁘다고 고르지 마세요. 둘째, 오래된 와인을 조심하시고 특히 가격이 싸다고 사면 안 됩니다. 셋째, 자신이 없으시면 함께 먹을 음식을 알려주면서 다른 사람의 도움을 구하세요. The first wine that I chose at Costco was a bourbon barrel-aged red wine blend. I selected this wine because of this unlikely choice of barrel. And then a buttery butter. Some butteriness in wine can be good, but also can be bad. We'll see. An apothic red. I know many of you may like this wine, and I show you why I think this wine is not good. So a set of Costco's top 3 worst shitty wines is complete. Let's taste them with Peter. Now we move to top 3 shitty Costco wines.
All right.
Sorry, Peter. The first wine is a Magnum bottle.
Magnum.
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of bad wine. And I couldn't find any paperback to make it blind.
It's okay. You can just pour it.
So instead of paperback, I use this box.
Ah, that's white wine. Okay.
Yeah. 1 white wine,
1
2 red
white
wine.
You know, it depends on the price of the wine. It's one-dimensional. And that's a Magnum bottle. So how much does that cost?
About 24.
24 for the Magnum.
Yeah, and for the regular bottle, it must be 15 or so.
Okay, so it's boring. It's sweet. It's got high alcohol. I think it's a little expensive. I think you can get that quality for a lot less money.
That's what I thought.
It's just not very good wine.
You want to see the bottle?
Butter.
That's the correct name for this wine.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Look, they knew what they were doing when they made this wine. Look, it's called Jam Cellars. As if jam was somehow something, I don't know where they get the name jam from, but when you describe a wine, particularly a red wine, as jammy, that's not a positive description.
No.
I don't think it's your world-class crappy wine. Not as good value as the previous one, but it's not horrific.
It's not horrific.
No.
For me, the criteria for that top 3 worst wines in Costco, it was like junk food. So it's a great. It may be a great pleasure to have it for many people, but it's not that delicate.
Yeah, no, it's pandering. But, I mean, it's unashamed pandering, and it's unashamed because that's what they were planning to do. And the wine basically delivers exactly what they wanted it to. So you can't really fight with that. This is a marketing exercise, not a Venus exercise.
So you like it a little bit?
I don't like it. I don't want to drink it. But I don't like it. But then that's me. And it's not relevant that I don't like it. I think it's overpriced for what it is. Fucking boring as hell. Jeez. We are used to drinking better than that.
Yeah. Okay, then 2 more red.
2 more reds, okay. You know, I don't know really what to say, because I don't want people to drink wine like this. But it's not up to me to tell people what they should drink. It's very oaky. It's certainly not oak barrels, it's chips or whatever it is. So there would, like in all these other wines, the oak has been standing apart. It's not integrated like an oak barrel would be. But again, this is a wine that delivers what they were trying to do. I don't want to drink it, but I can't say to people, you shouldn't drink this. How expensive is that?
$7.79.
$7.79. There would be many wines at this price of this approximate quality. And in my, opinion, boring wine.
Then let's change the title to Top 3 the most boring wines at Costco. Sometimes you are too generous when you talk about something.
Well, because they did this on purpose.
Then let's change the title to new one, like the top 3 most boring wines to me at Costco.
Oh, okay. Well, that's certainly boring. You could go to the Languedoc and pick up unoaked Merlot for that same kind of price. That would really taste like Merlot. That would give me more pleasure. But maybe the consumers that are watching this, who have been taught that wine should be oaky and relatively deep in color, and a little bit of sweetness is just fine. The old trick being, from the old days, I remember they used to tell me, the marketing guys, the trick is to label a wine dry, but then make it slightly sweet. But one can't argue with this.
But you wanted people to be a little bit more and a little bit more educated.
Yeah, this is not going to help you education-wise. This is pandering. This particular wine is Coca-Cola with alcohol. I don't mean Coca-Cola specifically. I mean it's like alkalized soda, soda pop. I don't think it helps you particularly to learn about wine.
Do you want to see what wine?
No! Yeah, show me. Apothic winemaker, Apothic red winemaker. Oh, it's a blend. It smells like a lot of Zinfandel.
It's a rich Zinfandel, Syrah, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Merlot.
Yeah. God, it's fucking horrible. Jesus Christ, it's horrible. I agree with you that for my palate, this is really bad wine.
Sometimes you're really too much generous to some bad things.
It's really bad wine.
This is like tons of chips.
Yeah,
right?
it's really, really bad. I mean, people who make wine like this should go to jail.
It's really disgusting, no? For me, it's really disgusting.
For us, yeah, for us.
The lactic taste and the oakiness, it lingers on your mouth.
Because it's not real oak, it's this chips. It's oily, rough chips or something like that.
It's like a rest of the burnt chips from a Californian wildfire.
That I don't know about. It's a hard one to stomach.
I'm sorry about that, Peter, but there is one more bottle.
All right, let's do it. It's also red, this one?
Yep.
Okay.
I just checked the you look really unhappy. You look miserable, Peter.
That's close.
I didn't
I'm pretty
poison
close
you.
to being miserable. Okay.
Cheers, Peter.
Cheers. Now this one is almost indistinguishable from the previous one. It's got this oak all over it. I would argue that it's even, this one's somewhat flawed on the nose. A slight bit of oxidation on the nose. Much as I hate to say it, the previous one was slightly better. Or perhaps we say the previous one was not quite as bad as this.
I have to be really sorry to say that this is much more expensive.
Much more expensive. That's interesting.
And I think that a flawed characteristic is from a winemaking process.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I show you
This one is oxidized. Yeah.
And if I show you the bottle, you will certainly know why you feel so.
What is it?
You really look unhappy now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Peter.
Yeah. Bourbon barrel-aged red wine blend. That put me out of my misery. That costs how much?
$15.99.
Oh, you got to be shitting me. So there's one I agree with you. Why the wine, this particular wine, is oxidized, I don't know if it's this bottle or this batch. And look at the choice of bottle. And you got to hand it to Beringer. Obviously, they are marketing people. And between them and Costco, they understand something about the consumer that I don't. But, yeah.
I was so curious why they aged wine in bourbon barrel aged oak.
It's become, you know, I tried another one the other day. A friend of mine said to me, you got to try this. And maybe you want to represent it, you know, in Canada. So I tasted the wine and said, hell no. I don't want to represent it anywhere. I really can't do this. And my friend said to me, oh, Peter, you're not with the times, you know. But if this is what the times are, I'm not with the times. So I agree with you on this one. I think this is a shocking bottle of wine. And I'm sure that the guys, Beringer, that produced this wine, will be happy to hear me say that. Because they didn't make this wine for me or for you. So why don't we line up the bottles, and so that we can net it out for the consumer.
You can switch.
There's no need to switch these. There's no need to switch these, but in fact, that's the right order. The least worst of these wines, strange to say it, is in fact the white wine. And these two are quite similar. And this one's actually flawed. Now, I don't know if it's this bottle that's oxidized, or if oxidation is a characteristic of this batch or whatever. But I don't even really want to talk too much about the wines, because there are better things to buy than these. These are not, in my opinion, what you should buy.
If this were a regular bottle, it must cost $14.99 or so for this Chardonnay, and this one is $15.99. I think the prices should be lower.
For sure, there's no value for money on that one. You know, and whatever it is that the bourbon barrels adds to the wine, and the need to handle the wine more, and the expense of acquiring the bourbon barrels and moving them from Kentucky or wherever they came from to the wine. So it didn't work for me. So yeah, I understand why the wine's more expensive, but it's money wasted for me. I would like to see wines that are wine. They may be entry-level wines, but that can launch the consumer onto a path of getting an understanding of wine and moving on to understand what they like and what they want, and moving on to better things. And I don't think any of these wines do it. This is, for me, shameless pandering, alcoholized soda pop, From a marketing perspective, as I said previously, these wines do what their manufacturers, producers wanted them to do. So they're a success from that perspective. But I can't do it. There are many wines in the world that if I didn't contain myself, I could drink a bottle. And of course, there are many, many, many more wines that I could drink a glass or two. Those are three wines I can't drink a glass. And by the way, these wines are all over the place.
That's it?
That's it. That's it for today?
Yeah, that's it for today.
I'm going to have to call Valerie on the way home and say, open something decent. Because I've had a terrible day at the office.
이럴 땐 이 와인 네이버밴드로 놀러 오시면 와인을 잘 몰라도 편하고 싸게 살 수 있는 정보가 많이 올라와 있습니다. 가입하는 게 싫으시면 greatwine2u.co.kr로 꼭 놀러 오세요.